Hi, everybody. DJ Yoakley with a very special guest. It's a player profile of just unbelievable magnitude. We are interviewing the Ohio State Buckeye, the legend of the mat, Luke Pletcher. Luke, how are you?
Doing good. Doing good. How are you?
I'm doing well, man. I'm doing well. Thanks for taking time out for us. I mean, you have had an unbelievable career. A Pennsylvania boy, a Keystone kid, and now an Ohio State Buckeye. What led you to being a Buckeye? I mean, of all things, that's a tough boundary to cross sometimes.
Yeah, it's definitely different, and it was different being on the team because a lot of the guys are they grew up being Buckeye fans, and it's a different feeling for those guys than it was for me. But I think the main thing was for me going to Ohio State was just going somewhere different, but I wanted to go somewhere that they did what I was trying to do. So there was people there that won national titles and won Olympic medals, and they had the recipe. They had everything I needed. So that was something I couldn't pass up.
Your high school career was incredible. You're a three-time Pennsylvania state champion, two-time Super 32 champion. When you were looking for a school, obviously there was more than one that was looking for Luke Pletcher. What kind of went into your decision, and what was the recruitment process like that finally landed you in Columbus?
The recruitment process was different than I expected. It was looking back on it was fun, but during going through it was pretty stressful. And I don't really like I've grown into it, but I wasn't big into talking to different people, and during the recruiting process, they try to sell you on everything and, oh, you're the best and all this stuff, and I've never been good at that. So I don't know, that was different. It was fun, but it was definitely stressful going through it. But for me, there was it was I got some calls from different places, but I tried to keep, I was trying to stay honest with everybody and tell them this is just not going to be a good fit for me, or, I didn't try to lead anybody on. So, I just had a couple schools that were in mind, and I went and visited them and talked to the coaches, saw the teammates, and, ultimately decided that Ohio State was the best place for me.
So when you look at kind of the invasion that wrestling has had, Pennsylvania, it's seemingly always been popular, but Ohio, it's just catching on now. There's a few of these schools that are perennial powerhouses, but you come from a state that loves the sport. When you made that transition over the border, you were already about the frenzy. Talk to me about what it's been like to kind of see the wave coming, where you started and now where you are.
It's definitely pretty cool because everybody goes to college and they kind of go their own way, but we meet up and see each other at big tournaments or at dual meets, and everybody that I've been practicing with since I've been 7 or 8 years old, now we're all doing big things at college, which is it's pretty cool to just experience that with all of us together. But yeah, I think at Ohio they don't get the respect they deserve. I think they are definitely a big wrestling state. They're not PA big, but they still love wrestling. But yeah, I'm close with our recruiting coordinator. He was an assistant coach for a year while I was there, and then he's strictly just recruiting. And I give him crap about how if you want this team to get any better, you better start moving into PA and getting some PA guys and stuff like that. So
when you were, I guess when you were growing up, when you realized you were really, really talented at wrestling, when was that for you, and what was it like to just kind of engage in it and focus in it and on it? Did you have to give up other sports to do it, or were you just able to kind of compartmentalize?
Yeah, I growing up, I played football, baseball, and wrestling. It was just something everybody in my family did. We just all played sports during almost every season. But I think I started getting serious about wrestling at, I would say 12,
Okay.
12 or 13. I stopped playing football whenever I was 11, just because I was just small and it wasn't the sport for me. But I liked baseball, and I played baseball till I was 14 or 15. And at that point, that's whenever I made the conscious decision that wrestling is something that can give me some opportunities that I can't, not put my full effort into. So
what was the biggest eye opener for you? I mean, when you went from being the Latrobe kid and you walked into Columbus, there's especially for seniors now going through this coronavirus, you're the big fish in a small pond, and all of a sudden you walk onto campus and nobody knows your name. What's that like, and how did you overcome that?
It's tough. There's no way around it. You just go there, and for the first, I went there like 2 days after I graduated high school, and I just got my ass kicked for the first 2 months, basically. I don't think I might have got like 2 or 3 takedowns, and it was rough because like going into college, I was like, yeah, it'll be an easy transition. I mean, I'll be ready to win a national title my true freshman year, which like I still believed all along, but you have to go through those beatings and figure out the game because it's just a whole nother level. So during this time, it's tough for the high school seniors going into college now because we don't know if there's going to be a summer for going to summer classes and getting to know the teammates and training with the guys, which I think is huge because you get a little jump start for everything, not only jump start for your wrestling, but getting to the school, kind of being familiar before the whole big wave gets there, making friendships before everybody got there, which it was nice. You come back from a fall semester, your freshman year, and you already know everybody on the team, and the incoming freshmen are like, "Oh, who's this?" And they're scared, and they're everything's already done for you.
So let's make that jump in this conversation from the high school ranks to the college ranks. You go in, your final totals 108, and I want to emphasize this: 108 and 21 total. That's your win-loss record. That is unbelievable. That's something even Tom Brady is jealous about. When you look back at your career, was it the wins and losses that really made you who you are, or was it do you look more at the 108 or do you look more at the 21? I guess is I'm trying to ask.
Naturally, you look at the 21. That's the first thing I thought about whenever you said that. Just there's some matches in there that I know shouldn't be in that 21 side, but it's hard not to think about them that way. But there's lessons to be learned in all of them, and I wish there wasn't 21 of them, but I learned something in every single one. So I grew from the 21 losses.
When do you think you'll start looking at the other side, the left number at 108, and say that's pretty damn good?
Probably when I'm 60.
So when you're Uncle Don's age, you can look at the 100.
Uncle Don's age. Yep.
When was there any big moment of truth for you of that maybe you doubted yourself, but you overcame that moment throughout your entire college career, whether it's in the classroom or on the mat?
Mm-hmm. I would say my junior year, just in general. It started off good, pretty good. I won some matches there in the beginning of the year. Then I lost to Mickey Philippi, actually one of my buddies from back home, which I was fine with. Nothing didn't shatter my confidence or anything. But then later in the year, I lost to a couple guys, got my butt kicked from the guy from Michigan who I thought I was going to beat. He was the number one guy in the country at that time, and going into that, I was like, yeah, this is it. This is the match I want. This is, I'll be right up in there after this, and got my butt kicked. And after that, I was just kind of shooken up a little bit. It was hard to get my confidence back up. And yeah, it's just something that almost everybody goes through. Eventually, you're gonna get down the dumps, but you got to find your way. Somehow you got to find yourself out of it, and it's different for everybody. And so that's probably the biggest thing that happened to me, just overcoming, doubt for the first time in my life. I think, from as long as I can remember, I've been supremely confident that I was going to win, whether it was the PJW state tournament at the end of the year, the high school state tournament, or the national tournament. But during my junior year, I had doubts where I didn't know if I was going to All-American or not, which is that's not a good headspace to be in.
How did you overcome that? Is there one thing, or is there multiple things that you use mentally, physically, emotionally to overcome that and to put yourself back on a path of success and to get to 108 wins? That's what is that like for you? And is that something that you can take with you for the rest of your life?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for me was just I got over it through losses. There was matches during the year where I was wrestling people that I didn't think were on my level, and they were close matches when they shouldn't have been. So that's where my confidence wasn't it wasn't going. You know, I wasn't confident because I wasn't beating these guys that I know I can beat really badly, and it would be like a 6-5 score. And for me, the main thing was just changing the way that I thought about wrestling. And it was something that they've tried to work with. They work with our team forever. And, you know, for the 3 years that I was there before I actually flipped my mindset, like I tried to think about it, you know, not look at the wins and losses, look at the progression of how you're developing. And it's just somehow it flipped, you know, where I lost to a kid from Cornell, and we were both like bubble All-American guys, which would be top 8. And I think he was like 10th and I was like 7th, and I lost to him. And it was the last match of the year before Big Tens. And I was like, for some reason in my head, I was like, none of this matters. Like whether I lose to the Cornell kid or during the season, like it doesn't hurt my chances of becoming a national champion in 4 weeks, you know? So just, it made me focus more on the training and, you know, opening up in my wrestling, and going after that match, going into Big Tens for some reason, my head was clear, and, you know, no matter what happened, I was fine with it, because I knew, you know, during the training, I did everything I could. You know, I controlled everything that I could control, and whatever happened, happened.
And the thing I love most about you is your modesty. I mean, you're sitting here. I'm going to go over your resume, which I know you won't publicly, but let's just talk about it. In college, an All-American 2018-2019, a Big Ten champion in 2020, Big Ten finalist 18, 19, and 20, Cliff Keen, Las Vegas Invitational champion 2017, 2020, NCAA qualifier all 4 years, openmat.com, freshman All-American team, NWCA Scholar All-American 2018, 2019, not done yet. Academic All Big Ten 2018, 2019, and an OSU Scholar Athlete 2017, 2018, 2019. Luke, when you look at your resume, there's people out there that look at it and say, how can you accomplish so much in such a short period of time? How were you able to manage your time, manage your motivation, and manage your success? Because that's sometimes something people don't realize. Success breeds a lot of intangibles by itself, and things that you have to do on top of all the recognition you get. So how did you manage that?
That's a good question. I don't know. It's just kind of what I did. I was just like a schedule for me. You know, I've been almost on I don't want to say 2-a-day schedule for 8-9 years, you know. And even in high school, I was almost wrestling twice a day, every day of the week, other than like I wouldn't do it on the weekends. But, you know, I just kind of got into a habit of, you know, being pretty scheduled out. And, you know, I was lucky enough to be able to like set my alarm, wake up, know what I have to do, go do it, come back, go to class, go work out. And then at night, if I had to do homework, I had to get another workout in, then I was able to do it. But I think a lot of that comes with just growing up. You know, I felt like I was kind of mature for my age.
Right.
And, you know, my parents did a good job of making us, you know, work growing up. We had our chores. We were constantly outside doing yard work and all that kind of stuff. So I think just the way that I was brought up, and, you know, I think that just shapes how you handle things.
I think I know the answer to this question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. When you're a competitor at the highest level the way you are, you can read all those career honors. Is there anything missing from this resume that you wish was on there?
I mean, you know the answer. Yeah, there's only one, and I'm moving past it. But, you know, obviously it's the 2020 national champ. That's not here. That's not possible. So,
can I ask you an honest question? Do you feel cheated?
Do I feel cheated?
Yeah. Do you feel cheated because of the coronavirus and the way things kind of went down because you were on that path?
No, I don't feel cheated.
Okay.
I feel mad. I feel I've never been one to feel sorry for myself, but I felt sorry for myself for a couple of days. But yeah, I don't feel cheated because there's thousands of people who got the same thing stripped away from them. Things that were much bigger than the national title. You know, there's people dying. You know, I mean, if I don't get a national championship, and, you know, me and my family and everyone close to me stay alive, then so be it. You know, no big deal.
I love it. I absolutely, I knew that was going to be your answer. What different, I mean, there's a different feeling that you had going into this year. There's a different feeling you had throughout the year. That feeling was you were going to be a national champion. Corona gave us a hard left turn, right? So at the end of the day, how has this pandemic changed you for the better, not for the worse? I mean, we won't talk about that stuff. How has it changed you for the better, and how has it rearranged what you're looking to do in the future, Luke?
How has it changed? It hasn't really changed. Honestly, I became a little bit. I don't want to. The word's not lazy because
Yeah,
that's not it. But I
patient.
patient. Yeah, that's probably it. Yeah, I'm patient. I let my body heal for the first time in a while. I wrestled yesterday, and it was the first time I wrestled in like 45 days. And I don't think I've taken that long a break since I've been like 12.
Wow. Since you
So
got serious.
yeah, since I got serious, and it felt like I was so anxious, and we were gonna play a game, but I just like got in there and I just started jogging around and rolling my arms out and just started wrestling. I didn't do anything crazy, but it just felt good to be back in there. But I'd say patience and just I think not taking things for granted is probably just something that I learned from this. Your whole life you think you're always gonna get that fair shake at everything. It's just gonna go. It's gonna work in this. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this, and then this is gonna happen. But until something crazy like this, you go through something like this, it's hard for you to look like that. So I would say just being grateful for every opportunity and not taking them for granted.
We're here with Luke Pletcher, the All-American Ohio State Buckeye wrestler, 141-pounder. Luke, when you look at it, I mean, the future holds great things for you, man. But the gator closest to the boat is you're going to be a coach at the University of Pittsburgh. Talk to us about that.
Yeah, so I'm going to go there, and supposed to start in July, but we'll see.
Right.
Coming up, I'm going to go there and be a volunteer assistant and train at the RTC. So I'll still be training to make World and Olympic teams, and at the same time, I'll just be helping the guys, in the room, and being another helping hand there. So
Love
that's
seeing
it.
that. Love
Yeah, that's
seeing
the
that.
plans.
One of the things that I asked you before we went into this interview, kind of bummed about the answer, but I mean, it seems like all the wrestlers are going from the mat to the octagon or from the mat to the squared circle. Luke, do you have any plans of going to either one? And if not, why not?
No, I have no plans at the moment to do either of them. WWE, I don't think I could do that to myself. Sure, it would be great money, and I think a little short guy could sell well for him.
Absolutely.
But I'm not trying to do that.
What would your
You
nickname be?
who knows? Probably Stump or something like that. But for UFC, no, I don't like getting hit in the face. We were talking earlier. We have boxing gloves in my house, and me and my brother, we throw hands a little bit here and there, and if I get clipped once or twice good in the head, I'm usually going down. So I don't think I have the best chin. But I got a call from some like UFC agent guy, and like he wants me to come like work. Like I told him like I'm not UFC fighting. I just
Yeah.
told him that straight up. But he said like if they ever like some of his fighters ever need like a wrestling partner, I'd go down and like learn some striking, which would be fun. But yeah, I mean, who knows? I get a little jab combo. You might see me in the octagon.
I love it. I can't wait. I know it's going to happen. You just got the
No,
mental ability. I know.
no.
Last question for you. I like to talk to all the student athletes about their role models and kind of who got them to where they are. Do you have a certain set of role models that you've had for the entirety, whether it's on the mat, off the mat, somewhere in between in your life, that's really given you opportunities or presented just to be part of your life and where you are now?
Yeah, there's definitely a couple. Obviously, first would be my dad. He's the rock behind everything. He's the one who pushed me whenever I was younger, and at the time I was like, Dad, I don't want to do this. This is like I've had enough. I don't want to do this extra workout, or I didn't want to get up early. And he would walk on the treadmill while I was doing push-ups or something before school. So he's the one who really got my work ethic up, and he's always been there for me. And I don't think they've missed a match in college.
Love it.
So there's one. In the wrestling itself, when I got to school, it was probably Kyle Snyder. I thought I knew how to work hard, and I was hard working. I would work as hard as I possibly could, and he showed me the next level to it. Just he lived like a insanely clean life, and it was like just something you see that it tightens you up. You gotta figure some things out. You think you're doing things the right way, but there's people out there way more dedicated than you are. So he'd be one that's in the wrestling.
That's awesome.
Wrestling world. Yeah.
That's fantastic, man. Well, thank you so much for your time. It's been such a great experience. We'll look to see you in the octagon at some point, because I think that's what's going to happen. No, in all seriousness, congratulations. You'll be closer to us at Pitt. We're excited for you. We're excited to see you continue to grow. And maybe, you might not win a national championship, but maybe you'll have gold around your neck at some point. We're hoping for it, buddy.
Let's hope it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye.